enjoyable to look at here. I am really excited to see what they can do, and well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right on into it.
Yeah, because our first player in the bottom left, representing Team Litecoin, he is the Red Protoss player from France, the legend of the scene. It is PtitDrogo.
And his opponent, spawning up in the top right, representing Alters Esports, it is Lilbow. And Alter, you mentioned it earlier, is a part of TKL's team, a French commentator slash streamer who is... it's really cool. The French community has just been amazing.
Dude, they all have teams. Like TKL also had that authentique was that him as well?
Team,
that was right.
Team Coca Authentique Papite.
That was Coca's team.
I think
that was Coca's team.
Okay,
yeah.
Coca. Yeah,
that was Coca. So, yeah, it's good to see the French guys coming out and supporting their players. For those of you who are maybe newer to StarCraft and do not know, Lilbow was once a European champion. He was a WCS EU champion. He won $30,000 in a grand finals. He was, at one point, on top of Europe. Drogo, I believe, a very long time ago, won a DreamHack. That's really pushing my memory.
Yes, he did. He won it at the beginning of Legacy of the Void.
Premier champions. That's incredible. And already we're seeing something a little bit tricky here as Drogo is going to pull out the cards. He's going to hide a pylon and he's not going to commit to anything here. This is just to throw Lilbow, who may not have quite as much experience in this matchup, off guard.
Yeah, this is like the third time we've seen a fake hidden pylon. You know, I know that Hearthstone last season spent some time practicing with Drogo, and I think there's a good chance that maybe they've kind of spoken with each other and been like, you know what, with the meta as it is right now, this is how you play. This is the best way to play.
Yeah. So, of course, it means right now Lilbow has come in, he's scouted, he's gone, okay, something's missing. There's a pylon, and whether there's a pylon missing, he's going to check in case it was that Maca pylon. He's really, really looking now, really looking. Will he eventually find it? It looks like yes, but it's going to take, no, he's just going to pull back. Or is he? No, he's going. So he eventually finds this, but it's still a little scary. The good thing for Lilbow is that he hasn't, like... Does he find it, though? Because he mines that far mineral patch.
I was wondering if the mineral patch might, like, derp it out or something. But I think he should...
I think he mines it and then goes down to attempt to mine the second one, fails, and then returns, right? Yeah.
I think so.
He's really scouting. I mean, two probes on the map. Lilbow probably feeling, and quite often when players return, they have this sort of like Herculean strength. It has now been scouted. They play really, really good. I have a good friend who was a pro StarCraft player for many years, Johnny Rico, and he'd come back every couple of years and barely practice, and then all of a sudden he'd win a Go For tournament against really good players, and then he'd play another week and then he'd be like 4k MMR or something, because you have this point where you're not in your own head, you don't have any expectations of yourself. And with Lilbow now in his first Premier tournament after many years, he won't have any expectations, I imagine. He may have some slight ones in his head, but this is cool. Already a good start. I love this from Drogo, just trying to be really annoying. It's not worked. Lilbow is powering up. He has his Nexus down. He's getting a Forge. That's a quick Forge as well. Twilight Council. These are going to run up, force field it out, and then they just go...
I think this was actually a big mistake. That was meant to be a hallucinated Phoenix, almost definitely.
Yeah.
Which is like, when he misses the force field here, that's going to delay his... Actually, no, never mind. He's got enough energy.
He's got enough energy.
Hallucination Scout. But that does mean less hallucinations overall. And he hasn't actually gotten vision of the main base. He got a little bit earlier, but he doesn't know about this Forge or Twilight Council, which is what he really would have wanted to see. Really would have wanted to see that. Oh, and he almost gets intercepted in the middle of the map.
He won't. Oh, he will, maybe.
Will.
Nah, it's going to get in eventually, I think, but this is a very late scout. The good news is that the push is already kind of coming, and he has seen a lot of this push. It's not a push meant to kill his opponent, because behind this Blink is coming. As we said, there is a Forge done for Lilbow, although that's not started. +1 wants to get going soon. But it's still a scary force. Like, there's enough Stalkers here to one-shot sentries, and I can't remember if it's enough to one-shot a... Oh, nice, killing the Warping. Guardian Shield coming in, and actually we have Probe pulled off of the line already. No Blink is done for either player, but this is going to be a few dead Probes, I think.
Yeah, this is really, really good for Lilbow right here. A lot of dead Probes, and now the Stalkers, they're actually force field out. Amazing force field out of Lilbow. He caught 2 of the Stalkers out. Nice counter force field from Drogo. Does catch one of those Stalkers, and Lilbow does lose a lot of units. He loses 3 more Stalkers than his opponent, but 11 probes went down. Oh, and the force field to save that sentry.
Lilbow came from a period of time where everyone on Twitter, all they were saying is force fields are OP, force fields are broken. So he's pretty good with that tool, and uses it very well here. Dark Shrine from Drogo, already a Robo and a Forge, of course, down here for Lilbow. So there was the potential for this not to find damage. Of course, the Dark Shrine, even with detection, can hit pretty darn hard, pretty darn scary, and find a lot of damage if you are unprepared. But Lilbow has put himself in a good spot. He's up 9 workers. His upgrade isn't too far behind. His blink is about the same time. He's got his 3rd Nexus on the way quicker. His Robo coming down. Everything he needs is pretty good. In terms of gateways, both players are still only sitting on 2. Lilbow adding 3 more, so he'll be up 1 gateway as well. And that's all off the benefit of killing a few of these workers. And now he sees the push coming too.
Yeah, and he might have blink in time to actually jump on this. No, he's not going to jump on it, because Drogo does have the high ground, but he will have that blink at the same timing as his opponent, and I don't think there's a whole lot you can do with Drogo right here. Ooh, he does pick off a sentry. That's actually a really nice find.
Yeah,
both players now going to be down at 2 sentries.
Is that hallucination? Ooh, no.
Oh,
very scary. And they're going to go straight back up into the main here as well, where they're going to find even more. And the second one lives on 1 hit point. Finally, a blink in to push it back. But this has just evened up the playing field in terms of probe kills. And now we have the push coming in the front as well here from Drogo. Drogo going to use his multitasking, his years and years of experience. The DT comes in, the DT goes down. Not great there, unfortunately, as the Observer is in place. But we have a DT going up into the main as well. And guess what, Steadfast? There ain't an Observer here.
No, there is not. And as it is, there's actually not enough units at this base right here. With Guardian Shield getting popped, this is looking a little bit dicey. We do have the the shield battery overcharge helping a lot. But this is just a distraction. So many probes have gone down, and there's more probes. Oh, the DT slipped into the 3rd. What?
Oh, that's so cute. So cute. He literally like wrapped around and all together. Now he's going to head over to the natural. There is a cannon here, so this will only get probably the 1 kill. But the main, again, taking more and more damage. And just like that, this is how you lose half your probes. And this is why you don't come back after years away, because it can be very, very scary. Drogo is one of the best PvP players in the world, and he's showing it right here. His multitasking is insane in this matchup. Now, Lilbow is still up in supply, but it is all army, and Drogo has 3 bases, so he's going to be able to catch up very, very quickly here. Lilbow, in fact, is not even pushing. He's scared, I think, of more DTs and things, and his army is so spread. So when all is said and done, Drogo definitely picks up a pretty substantial lead. His +2 is quicker. He's up in workers now by 5. His 3rd base is more saturated. He's not taken the gases yet, but I imagine will very soon. It does look like Lilbow wants to try. Oh, he gets that prism. That's nice. Now he knows he's safe and can probably go to the other side of the map.
I would have liked to have seen that. To be honest, I would actually like to have seen Lilbow stop building workers, drop a cannon in the main mineral line, have cannons in each of his bases, and then just go.
Yes.
Build a war prism and just go. As it is, he actually is kind of caught up in the workers a little bit.
He's going to do it.
He's
building 7 more gates.
He's going up to 12 gates. Oh my. He's only on 50 probes.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I don't think you can afford 12 gates off of 50 probes. Not quite, I think. But the Immortal count, even right now, the Stalker count, of course, is favoring Lilbow. The scary thing is going to be, how many observers is there? 2. If they go down, DTs win the game. And there are DTs in this army, or there was a DT in this army. It's turned into an Archon. Okay, I like that even more. Less reliance, of course, on the sniping here, but that's a lot of zealots wrapping around here, Steadfast.
That it is. The battery overcharge is going to help out so much, but is it enough? We are going to see 1 observer getting sniped. Good job from Lilbow right there. But the battery overcharge has helped out so much. That Archon has been immortal.
Yeah.
This is very close. There are a lot of reinforcing charge lots here, and +2 weapons is not going to complete.
The Archon's going down.
He's going to lose the Archon. Second one goes down. This is too much. Lilbow, he's going to turn it around. His head.
What the heck? And now we see Zealots kind of run up over towards the third here. DT's warping in to defend. I like that. Zealots need to regroup with the army. This Observer is going to keep Lilbow alive right now. If he loses it, it could be game over. The Immortals will fall down. One does. The DT's coming in from the back. The second Immortal is going to stand strong for now. In fact, the probe going to be the target, but it will fall down. This is going to be game. On the other side of the map, there is a drop. Drogo is finding counter damage, but it's GG. Lilbow beats Drogo in game 1.
My God, Lilbow showing up and showing us what made him famous. You talked about it earlier. The force fields were so common in that meta. He was the best force field player in the foreign scene. Yeah. There are many instances where he was dead to rights in PvZ, but with incredible micro and perfect force fields, he turned unwinnable situations into just amazing games. And I think probably the most common or most well-known one is a series between him and a Zerg player from Korea named Hydra.
Oh,
and
dude,
it was
so
Big's
good.
first 3. So good.
I remember the game.
And I gotta say, this is giving me like, you know, flashbacks to that those force fields in the early game. That's
honestly
peak.
I thought when the multitasking of Drogo came in that it was over, that he had just like slapped him back into retirement, but he didn't. He completely destroyed him. I probably shouldn't have set my team as but always for a joke. In game, that might break things. We're getting into our game 2 now, but yeah, the multitasking of Drogo when they were on 2 bases was unbelievable. We found so much damage. It looked very, very close for a long time. The DTs found a lot of work just by being tricksy little boys. But Lilbow was able to save all of his army, most importantly. And then when the attack came, he just won. He just out-microed his opponent by the looks of things. So a great game there. I love to be proven wrong by a player coming back from retirement and doing so well. We've seen Classic come back today. So it's a lot of very big returns coming in now. Let's get into game 2 to see if Lilbow can close this one out steadfast, because our first player, the man we are talking of, representing Team Alta, he is the Blue Protoss player from France, a one-time Premier WCS champion. It's Lilbow.
And his opponent spawning up in the top left, representing Litecoin Gaming, which is so cool. Yeah. It is PtitDrogo. Honestly, so cool we have a cryptocurrency sponsoring a team these days. Something else that's pretty cool to note is Lilbow is not the only player who's returning, and Classic not either. We've also got Hero with the lowercase
CJ Antis Hero.
Yeah, now a member of Dragon Phoenix Gaming. We've got
He'll always be CJ Hero to me.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Gumiho back on Psystorm, right?
Yep. Back on Psystorm, looking really... Yeah.
I love Gumiho. I met him. He was a lovely boy. I took a taxi with him.
Oh, nice.
Really nice guy. Asus ROG.
Oh, very cool.
And yeah. Okay.
And there's one other big name player who returned recently as well. One other big top Korean. But also Antis, the American Zerg. And he actually took a series off of Zest.
That's
in an online cup
wild.
A few weeks ago. Yeah, it was crazy.
Who's the other Korean? Wait, now I'm thinking. Who have I missed?
Oh, maybe it was just Classic. No, Lenok.
The Lenoctopus?
And he 2-1'd Cure yesterday.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and Cure was winning every single online cup, like literally
He's been
winning
so good.
Yeah.
Wow.
8 or 9 out of a total 15 ESL Open Cups over a 5-week period.
That's crazy. So good. Anyway, let's talk about this matchup. We have some hidden stuff going on. There's a pylon hidden once again here from Drogo. He hasn't committed to anything, but he does have a probe still in a weird spot. It's going to come in. Is it going to come in? That probe that's currently at the third of Lilbow. I don't know what he's thinking right now. Yeah, he's just waiting to come in at the right time to throw his opponent off. Okay. That can be a big thing is when you come in for your scout, these players know what a standard timing is after or for the different scout timings, right? I mean, I really love Lilbow. He's really committing to scouting, like more than anyone else does. He has 3 probes out. That's crazy.
And the funny part is, he'll see it, which is good. Very important, but like PtitDrogo, this is a big win for him, even if he loses this pylon, which I actually think he will, and he did in the early game last game, which was not ideal. But 3 probes is I think that actually makes this worthwhile, considering how much time they spent looking.
Yeah.
I think it's in total more than 100 minerals.
I would agree with that, yeah, almost certainly. It's not far off, definitely. But the value here isn't in like the intrinsic value of how much money it's made. It's in that Lilbow's probably not that confident in dealing with as much cheese or as much of the weird alternative stuff that's out there and available for these players to do. So just having knowledge, having that power is really important for him. He now knows what he's up against. He knows, okay, there's no... Because you don't proxy one pylon one place and then go and proxy another one and then drop your proxy Stargate. It's just not something, unless you're like, I don't know, Zest or Max Packs. It's just not something that you do, right? Yeah. So Lilbow's going to feel pretty confident that this is going to 2 base, and it's all pretty normal. He sees the completion of the Nexus 2. He's getting a Twilight Council. Both players playing the same build. And it's yeah, so far everything completely mirrored, and I'm interested to see in a straight out micro war which player is going to perform better, because Lilbow won round 1.
Yeah, he did. Things were looking really, really good for Drogo, but he overstayed his welcome a little bit, lost too much army, and couldn't really recover from that. It's funny, by the way, to see 2 players. They were both the Baguette Protoss.
Yeah.
Now, Forged Twilight, it's such a good build in the current meta. When you know that your opponent's gone up to a second base, when you get those early sentries for hallucinations, and yeah, we're seeing both players starting their 3rd Nexi at the same time.
It's
switching gears a little bit. What's you mentioned Asus ROG? Do you have a favorite memory from going to like an online or an offline event?
It's a good question. I'm trying to think. A lot of them I can't talk about. I'll get back to you. Let me think. Yeah, let me think. I'll get back to you. These guys are playing absolute mirrored builds. Like, and yes, I do. It's a big game story. It's come to me now.
Oh, nice.
It's like midnight in Finland, and it was summer, so it was warm in quote because it's still Finland. And Gabe comes walking in the door. He'd walked to McDonald's on his own. It was like 20 minutes each way, and then he just eats like 6 cheeseburgers. Just on his own, just back to back to back to back to back to back. And I'm like, that is the best thing I've ever seen. I'm also absolutely hanging, like I'm wasted because it's an event in Finland. And yeah, I just sit there and stare as Gabe eats a bunch of cheeseburgers. Awesome time.
That sounds like a lot of fun, and that is so good because that like fits perfectly in with the Gabe meme.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the first thing that comes to my head about that event. I've got some other stuff, but I can't talk about a lot of it. I hung around with Stefano too much. Anyway. Immortals coming out here for Drogo. Both players even army supply, even workers. I mean, the money, everything is so similar. Upgrades finishing at the same time. Charge starting at the same time. This is gonna be a micro battle.
Yeah, 100%, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The only difference I'm seeing so far is Drogo a little bit later with his 5th and 6th gateway. Now he'll start up his +2 faster. He'll start up his Templar Archives, half a second quicker. Yeah. And then Lilbow starts up his Nexus a little bit quicker. So actually, the macro of Lilbow may be a little bit tighter, ever so slightly. He does stop at the 3 gas.
Ooh, that's interesting.
3 gas, 58 probe saturation, whereas Drogo, he's adding on a 4th gas. Not a big deal, but it means that Drogo's going to be mining a little bit more and didn't quite prioritize that production as much.
I'm very curious here about the armor upgrade coming in from Lilbow instead of getting +2 weapons. In PvP, so often you see a real commitment to just getting weapon upgrades and absolutely winning. It's more a PvT thing where you prioritize armor upgrades. A few workers going to go down here as Lilbow is caught. His charge isn't done either, so these Stalkers have a few extra seconds to do what they need to do and to blink around and kill some Zealots. Ooh. Nice play there from Drogo.
Yeah, not only does he kill those 3 probes, he target fires the 1 Zealot, so he actually kills it off, which is, it's not a huge deal. It's unlikely to make a difference in the game, but still just a really nice bit of micro. By the way, Lilbow, he is actually just going for it. Oh, the armor upgrade was a fake. It was a fake! So that when PtitDrogo came in for the scout, and he sees that it was all fired up. Oh my god, that is actually genius level play. And now, there's a 20 army supply lead. I mean, as a Warpin comes in, it's a little
more Zealots.
This is going to be so difficult to hold.
So difficult. No batteries. Batteries aren't done, and even when they finish, there'll be no battery overcharge. The Zealots charge in, and they find that surface area they found in game 1. They're going to get onto the more vulnerable units, the Immortals and the Archons, the bulk of the army here. Look at the army supply. It's 70 to 20. Lilbow is just 2-0. PtitDrogo.
Absolutely insane right here. Oh, the Immortal is going to stay alive, but it goes down as the battery overcharge goes down as well. And that's a dead Nexus. That is a dead PtitDrogo. It looks like he did get a couple of units into the natural, picks off 3 probes. Not enough to make up for this massive disadvantage. So many Zealots. This was so smart from Lilbow. The fake +1 or +2. So
where did he come from? Like, how can you be gone for this many years? We're talking 3 or 4 years, and come back and be this good. Lilbow 2-0 against PtitDrogo.